Hi, I'm DeDe Brown.
And I'm Jon Giss.
Welcome to part 2 of our special throwback episode of Black on the Scene, a show about our love for all things Black entertainment.
DeDe, this might be one of my favorite episodes so far. We had such a great conversation recapping this year's Academy Award. There was just so much to talk about.
Jon, me too. It was a beautiful night of Black excellence at the forefront. Y'all stay tuned as we share some of our favorite moments from this year's 93rd Academy Awards.
We truly hope you guys enjoy it.
Well, Jon, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy post-Oscars Monday. How you doing?
Well, I'm good overall. I'm back at home in Brooklyn, and we have some folks to celebrate. But first off, let's take a look at what we're wearing. We're like kind of the Bopsy-ish twins.
Yes, we got our merch.
Yes, and it looks like we're going to have to add some new Black names.
Yeah. Well, just one.
Well, these are actors for sure.
These are actors. Yeah.
There's some Black winners from the Oscars last night that we want to celebrate.
Yes, there is. Cheers.
Cheers to the Black Oscar
I
winners.
love this fruit that's in your drink. Oh, I want that. Mine's not that fancy.
Tangerine, darling. That's the only fruit we had.
That's the only fruit we had. Okay.
Yes, let's get into it. Let's get into
it. I'm so excited. So Black on the Scene, we are here, guys. DeDe and Jon. This is our Oscar roundup, the good, the bad, the amazing things that happened last night, the wins, the fashion, of course. So I'm excited to dive in with you. Like, this is going to be a good combo.
It is going to be an amazing convo. And just for, I put all the bling that I own.
Got all the jewelry on, as if you were actually at the Oscars. I mean,
don't look at these nails though. You
do it really quickly.
A little fake Oscar purse, too. I'm just so excited. I mean,
well, as someone who went to the Oscars, I went to the Oscars in 2017, which is one of the most amazing. You know, this one of the most amazing moments of my life. It was so great. It was the year Moonlight won. So it was just a really special year. And Oscars are just so much fun. It's like a reunion. You get to see people. You dress up really nice. I mean, it's a humongous spectacle. Like, it is a crazy production. But it's just a beautiful thing. I mean, they have just drinks flowing all night, which is always great. It's just the champs were always going, in the food. It's just magical. It's such a good experience. I can't wait to go back again.
Well, shout out to the Oscar production team. Everyone who was involved in putting it on. We know that this has been a year of Zoom award shows, and no shade to any award show that has been that had to do that for all the reasons that we would know. But shout out to the Academy Award production team and everyone that was involved in putting that together. It is no small feat on a regular basis, and certainly is no small feat in these times. So shout out to them.
Shout out, because it takes a lot. It takes a village, literally.
It does. Well, shall we just dive into the winners from last night? And you know, there were a few folks that we wanted to win that didn't win.
Yeah, it was an interesting night of the categories. Like, I mean, obviously, like you said earlier, the show was definitely constructed very differently, even just in the terms of traditions, how like best actors and actors would always present the opposite categories. They kind of flipped it up a little bit this year, and also just to order the categories. So the show itself was just very non-traditional, which I guess is a good thing. But you know, talking about categories, I mean, do we start in acting? Where you want to dive into first?
Let's do it.
So, I mean, listen, best actor, best actress, I think that was surprising for all. So best actor, Anthony Hopkins won for The Father, and best actress, Frances McDormand won for Nomadland. And to be honest, I have not seen either film, but I was rooting for Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, as well as Viola Davis for her role in that film as well. And they didn't win, which I'm very surprised by. And I think this was an interesting Oscar season too, because there really wasn't the front runners were like, Chadwick was, I thought, was the front runner. And then I know Anthony won the BAFTA for this same category, and that's kind of when the conversation was like, well, maybe Chadwick won't actually win the Best Actor category. So that was very surprising for me. And the fact that it was the last category of the night, I was like, oh, this is going to be a beautiful send-off, and this is going to be great. And then like Anthony Hopkins, Joaquin Phoenix presenting it, and then Anthony isn't even there. So show's over. It was just a little.
Anthony was asleep, and I was like, first of all, I have to say that in my mind, and we said this in one of our previous episodes, there are really no losers in this. If you are a person, Black, white, or otherwise, creating in this space, I think Daniel said it in his acceptance speech, it is hard to make a movie. It is really hard. It's a big collaborative effort on a massive scale. And if you are honored and privileged enough and tenacious enough to get movies made in various capacities, and whether it's a documentary, an animated, narrative, what have you. So shout out to anyone who was nominated, but also people involved in the process.
P.S. Give me a nomination or an Oscar, I would feel amazed. Like, I mean, that's an amazing feat to accomplish. So like, yeah, exactly to your point, like kudos to even being considered, being in the room. Like that's an amazing accomplishment, 100%.
You're just getting a film made. And
getting a film made.
There's some, and I think just because we're lovers of film in general, we can just give the shout out to all the folks involved, the creatives, the marketing people, the finance people, because it is a big collaborative and sometimes very long period of time to get it made. So, shout out to everyone embarking, and daring greatly in these endeavors.
Yeah, totally.
And, the Oscars is known for a surprise and an upset. So as much as we wanted our guy, rest in power, Chad, and our queen, Viola, to win, you got to always expect the unexpected for the Academy.
Except for Best Supporting Actor with Daniel Kaluuya. Like he won, and he was the front runner because he won everything in that category, from the Globe to the SAG to everything else in between. So I mean, I'm happy for that. Obviously, I love Judas and the Black Messiah, and obviously we know Charles and Stacey King very well as well. So I was happy for that, and I loved his speech. I mean, and spending time with Daniel is like, that is him, and he's such a jovial person. He was so excited. He was so humble, and he completely embarrassed his mother, which I thought was so funny. But yeah, I'm happy for him. Like now he is an Academy Award winning actor, being nominated twice. He was nominated for Get Out, and now this is the second nomination, and he's won.
I tell you what, that's one of many for him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
I can't wait to see what he does next. I mean, we talked about his SNL performance, experience, which was hands down one of my favorites.
And he should do more comedy. He's funny. He's such an actor's actor where he can just, I feel like he can do it all. Give him the challenge, and he'll just go and go above and beyond.
I tell you what, John, if we learn very soon that he can also sing and dance, I'm just going to be over it. He literally, I would not be surprised if he could, and if we see him on Broadway, whenever it opens. Like, he really is a bright, shining star, and his acceptance speech and his performance and what he gives to his roles are just, again, commendable, and it's just beautiful to see. And I thought he looked very dashing in his dark double-breasted suit. I love a double-breasted suit.
Shout out to Shiona Turini who styled him for that.
Shout out to Shiona.
Amazing. Yes.
Listen, I would love Shiona to style me like she styles Insecure, because the fashions
are always on point.
We'll get to that. And then how about her, speaking of Judas and the Messiah, for Fight for You? I mean, I am doing a little her ode to her with a little purple liner.
I love her. I love her voice. I've always like gravitated to her. She just has her voice so sultry, and so when I heard this song, I was like, oh my God, it's a beautiful song. And again, seeing this Black queen just get on that stage looking stunning, and just, her words were so impactful. Like, it just was like, oh my God, like, you deserve this. This is so well deserved. So
with her homage to Prince. And by the way, she and Andra have the same stylist, Worry. And she just always is just, and she's so young. We don't
Yeah.
even realize like what's she gonna do next. By
She's
the way,
so young.
don't be surprised to see her starring in some movie where she, you know, I'm just gonna say pulls an Andra and surprises everyone with her depth and range and even deeper talent than her musical ability. But it was pretty amazing. And again, you know, speaking of musical talent, how about Jon Batiste with Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross
with the score of Soul, yeah.
Soul, oh my gosh! And
With Soul also won Best Animated Feature, so it was a good win for them.
Such a good win for Soul. And Jamie now, I guess, has an Oscar for Ray, and he didn't win for his portrayal, but the movie obviously won Best Animated. And we just love that because Soul, there's so many, I think we talked about this as well. There's so many lessons in Soul, and I learned so much from watching it last year. But growing up, we did not have Black animated movies to watch. You know, I was even
let alone about jazz, and you know what I mean, like to have that as a character as well. Like that's amazing. I love that. I appreciated that narrative that they were doing with that film.
Well, certainly, I mean, let's look at how jazz had a year, right? When we think about the United States versus Billie Holiday. Well, music had a year. So even from the Sound of Metal, shout out to Riz, who was wonderful. So there was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, of course, the blues, and of course Billie Holiday with that jazz, and also soul. And I hope I'm not missing one, but wow. And I love stories about music and people who are musicians, because I don't have that talent. And then, I mean, I think I just mentioned Ma Rainey's Black Bottom won for best costume, and of course those two Black queens and makeup and hair styling.
Yes, that is amazing. The first time a Black woman had been nominated, and then they won. That is amazing. Shout out to me and Neal and Jamika Wilson, also Sergio Lopez-Rivera. But like that is such an amazing feat. Like, and I remember, did you see Viola Davis? She was like, she was so excited when they showed her. I mean, that's just again an amazing accomplishment, amazing moment. So shout out to them.
And Mia with her speech, and I hope I'm saying her. It is Mia and not Maya. Her speech was it. I mean, there were so many moving speeches, but certainly hers was just so poignant and just right on the money about having this, certainly the reverence and appreciation for all of our ancestors. And we can look at Ma Rainey. We can look at Billie Holiday in that same light, just tying that all in for what they brought to moving us forward. And the Bloods, like, that's not about, those characters were not necessarily real characters, but that narrative about, and I know you're in your feelings about the Blood, because Terrence Blanchard actually did not win for best score, but he had a wonderful, yes, I know we're having a little of a Zoom bomb from Grits.
Cameo.
Anyway, so shout out to Mia and Jamika, and I have to just give Mia her flowers on that dress that she wore. One of my favorites. I've been trying to figure out who that is, where she got that dress from.
Oh, wow,
okay. Beautiful.
The night was, like you said, the night was really filled with some great words of inspiration. Of just speeches. The speeches were really, really good, I thought. There was an intention behind the producers where they were like, we're not going to cut anybody off. So pretty much everyone had time to say whatever they wanted to say, hence why they felt a little lengthy at times. But I remember watching when Tyler Perry got his award, his humanitarian award. I mean, his words were just, when Tyler talks, you listen. Like, he's one of those people that really pulls you in with his words. And my mother taught me to refuse hate. She taught me to refuse blanket judgment. Like, he just kept dropping the quotes back and forth. And I was like, oh my God, he's like really going there. And it was just really poignant and really important. And I think so well deserved, just in terms of what he's been contributing just over the last year to residents in Atlanta during this COVID crisis and things like that. So I mean, I think it's just, I don't know, those words just really stuck with me to really try to make an impact and be just a good human being.
100%. I mean, we know, as much as we know what Tyler does in the community, there's probably so much we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
And he is, I think we've both had the opportunity to work on a couple of his films. I've had the immense pleasure to be in his presence for one of his films, working on one of his films. And he really is such a powerful, inspiring force. And you just think about where, of course, he came from. And if that doesn't help give you so much inspiration to really keep dreaming, keep fighting, keep loving on each other. Yeah. Like he's beyond.
He's beyond. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. Like again,
we could do a whole episode on and maybe we will on him alone. Just
yeah, the journey.
The journey. And Tyler and I are like the same age, and I'm like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, it puts things in perspective of just like, you know, especially, you know, again, hearing how he was homeless and like literally this man has his own studio. Like he is, it's a good story. It's a good story, like of just encouragement, keeping on, never giving up, having faith. Like it's just all those things and more.
Having faith. Wow. Did we tackle everybody? Cinematography, Eric Messerschmidt. No, sorry, that was wrong. You highlighted all of these for me and I went rogue on you.
I think the last one was, the last Black winner was live action short film, Two Distant Strangers.
Two Distant Strangers.
Which was on my list. It's on my list too. It's on Netflix, so definitely tune into it, folks. Travon Free and Martin Desmond Rowe. It's a very, from what I hear, very critically acclaimed. People love the film, so it was, and I think also it was one of the front runners in that category as well. So well deserved for Travon. Go Black man, go.
Go Black man, go. Go Black man, go.
Yes.
And I just want to shout out to all the other, again, winners, but certainly Chloe Zhao for Nomadland, who is an Asian. I
mean, best picture, best director, best writer. Like, I mean, she got it. Listen.
And I absolutely love Nomadland. Again, this is not what this podcast is about, but shout out to all the barrier breakers, the ceiling breakers, like shout out to them. And to Mia's point, and she said, I look forward to a day where this is just a natural course of business. We don't have to recognize first because we're so deep in it. Mm-hmm. And so cheers to barriers, to normalizing Black and people of color in these spaces, being creative, dynamic. What else, John? I got tongue-tied.
I think that's a great way. Cheers. Just breaking barriers and making things normal.
Making things normal.
Making these things normal. Cheers.
I can tell you what wasn't normal, though.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, the fashions were pretty. They were. Listen, you watch the awards because you want to cheer on your winners and your favorite actors and everybody, but you're tuning in for these fashions as well, and these fashions definitely did not disappoint. I mean, we got to talk about who's their best dressed.
Let's just say I've been so starved for red carpet glamour.
Yeah.
Number one, I don't even know if I have a best dressed because again, I have been so starved. Mm-hmm. And because I know again with the collaborative effort that goes into that. And I'm, if I had to jump back in my time machine and pick a career that wasn't a career back when I first started, I would 100% be a stylist. And I have so much reverence for this process that I have to give props to Wayman and Micah. John,
Regina,
Coleman,
I mean, Regina King was, first of all, let's talk about the opening of the show was her walk, her strut, and that gown.
Holding.
Yes, that part. I mean, I'm speechless. I don't even have words. I don't have words. Like, she looks amazing.
Sheer perfection. When you, and it was with Louis Vuitton. When you look at the detail and the work, there's some close-ups.
The way it fits her body too. Like, it just, it gets everything right.
I mean, it's hard to get anything wrong on that body because her body is beyond.
But yeah, shout out to Wayman and Micah. Like, they did their, who are the stylists for her, who also styled Coleman Domingo. And that, I love that pink suit. That pink suit was just like, I'm like, can I get that? Can I please wear that to something just around the house, maybe?
And Aldous Hodge, who they styled as well.
Right?
Oh
yeah.
Everything. I think he looks good in so many things because he's just like got the stature, he's fit, all the things.
Yeah.
So it would be hard for me to pick a favorite, but I just, again, love seeing the fashion, especially Black women and men in just wearing all this finery, and Angela Bassett, Queen, in Alberta Ferretti stood out to me. I just adored what she wore. It was dramatic, the color red, her hair, her makeup, it all just like sang to me. I really, really loved it. Who was your favorite, or do I know already?
Well, listen, anytime I can see Halle Berry on a red carpet, I lose it. So I'm always going to be a stand for her. So, I mean, I thought the pink was beautiful. I love the cut of her hair. It just, I don't know. I just, like, she's one of those women that are just like, she's like a bottle of wine, just gets better and better as she gets older. Like, I don't know, she just gives it all the time, and it's just so effortlessly. And also, you can tell she's so in love and so happy right now. So it's just like, that just adds on to it. So I appreciate it. I love color too. So with Angela, her lovely dress, and Zendaya in that yellow, and Halle, I love those pops of just like bright colors. Like, I love that.
Well, I tell you what, Halle Berry can literally wear and do anything. Everything to me looks good on her. Because I think you're right. She carries things with an exuberance and grace, and always, and certainly I think being in love helps. And they're such a handsome couple. Like, love, Black love. So shout out to them. And I would just like to say, my king and queen of the ball, you already know, Stacey and Charles King.
Stacey and Charles King. I remember when we were on a group text and we were texting, I saw a picture that Charles had posted on Instagram. I texted her, I was like, "Oh my God, you look amazing, girl! I love the hair, I love the dress. Like, it was so good. She looked so fantastic. Oh my God."
Stacey's super stylish to begin with. Just like, I'm like, where did she get that? And I can't afford that, so I don't need to go there.
Yeah. They both. I love they're both like. It's like they're such a representative of their personalities, of like how their style. You know what I mean? Like, it just works and it looks so good.
They just, and again, speaking of who's doing what in the community, and moving us forward, and fighting the fights, and fighting the good fight, and doing it with so much just grace and humor and kindness and generosity. They were my favorite. They were the best dressed to me, and best couple, and all of that. They really were. I need to find out who she was wearing. Do you know yet?
No, I mean, it's a simple text. We can find it out.
Okay.
and leak it to the trades.
So good.
Yeah. So I mean, the fashions were good, but you know what? The show was 3 hours long, a little over 3 hours, and a lot of the acceptance speeches you heard. They did a lot of the best song performances pre-show. Actually, they pre-taped them, but I really enjoyed a comedic moment that I loved, and maybe I'm rooting for L'Oreal to host the next year's show because I thought he was so good. Is when him and Questlove did that music quiz game, and Daniel Kaluuya and Andrade and Glenn Close were playing it, and it was just a good like refresher, like a good little moment in between everything, and it was so funny. And I mean, even the best part to me, and I love Glenn Close, so I'm like, the fact that she knew the butt and she knew all this history around school days, and then she got up and started dancing. Like, I was losing it. It was so funny. And it was like, that was just the best moment to like have. You just needed that laugh to kind of just break up a lot of the back-to-back awards. It was such a good moment. It was like, you could not have planned it any better.
Also, I shout out to Lil Rel stylist. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but I think he looked amazing.
Yeah, he did.
Dashing, the fit of the tux.
And shout out to Lil Rel because he hosted the pre-show as well on ABC. So I mean, that's amazing for him. And then he had this, like, again, he's so funny and just a breath of fresh air. So it was good to have him in there, especially with the absence of a host.
Especially with the absence of a host. And also co-hosting, I believe, was Ariana DeBrose.
Yes.
Who is such an up-and-coming star. She looked fantastic in Versace in the orange, but she also was hosting, I believe, in a different color. And she's going to be in West Side Story.
Yeah, she's in West Side Story, yeah.
I can't wait to see. I loved her in Prom. She can sing, she can dance.
You know, she was in Hamilton too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She can sing, she can dance. She's just such a light. She's a Southern girl from North Carolina.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yes.
Wow.
I did a little bit of stalking on her last night. I just thought, wow, I can't wait to see what she does. And again, she's an overnight success. Like, she's 30 years old, so she's been doing this her entire life.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to see what she does. And I think she's an album out. It's just so much talent, so much celebration of love and creativity and talent. And there's so many historical aspects to that. And I think if we had to sum up just this past year in movies, there's a lot of that's the thing to sort of double down on. It was creativity combined with I guess social justice in a way, right? So and that's, we're finding that more and more with content, that there's messaging behind being entertained. So edutainment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and it was educational and informative too, because I feel like there's so many narratives. If it was these Black men in the Vietnam War, the Five Bloods, or if it's Ma Rainey or Billie Holiday, there's these little pockets of this moments where you can still like, oh, I watched this movie and I can go and Google or watch something else and learn more and absorb more. So I love that educational aspect of it too, because it's exposing people about these different artists and different experiences of the Black experience that they may not have known before.
Well, speaking of Black experiences and in the documentary space, I do want to encourage everyone to see Time, produced and directed by Garrett Bradley. The cinematography, the story, it's a love story. It's a story about redemption. It's a story about our criminal injustice system. Please see this documentary. I agree with everything that Frances McDermott said. See it on the big screen. Movies are back. They're coming back.
Yeah, that was good too. That was good. Yeah.
It was great. And see A Love Song for Latasha, another Black documentary filmmaker, Sophia Nahil Allison. That documentary filmmaking is very, it could take you forever to make a documentary, right? And then with like very small budgets, and it's again a collaborative process, but it's also just it's much slower going at times, right? Definitely, and you maybe aren't working with those super big. You're not working with super big budgets or returns, so it really is a labor of love. And I have so much respect for documentaries and documentary filmmakers.
And we love a good doc. We love a good doc to dive in.
And I particularly enjoyed Time, and we'll be checking out A Love Song for Latasha this week too. So we got a little homework assignment.
Yeah, I gotta watch both of those. I know you've been telling me about Time for a minute.
Yeah. So we are saluting the end of the award.
Again, I'm almost done.
I know, I'm catching up. The end of the award season, but also saluting all of the amazing, again, Black and brown filmmakers. We are going to have to update these sweatshirts.
Yes, add Daniel to our list. Yeah.
Yes.
And also, let's shout out these Black winners for a moment too, that we have on our sweatshirts. We have Halle, obviously, Montrose Ball. Denzel Washington is a 2-time winner. Sidney Poitier, Jennifer Hudson, Forrest Whitaker, Monique. We got Mahershala Ali, Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, Jamie Foxx for Ray, Louis Gossett Jr., Hattie McDaniel. Oh God, to keep going. Lupita Nyong'o, Regina King, Whoopi Goldberg, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morgan Freeman. Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing list of a talented. And which is it going to be? It's going to be another episode. P.S. We're going to talk about all these amazing films as well, because these are all really impactful movies in different ways. So just shout out to all these best actor and actresses and best supporting actor and actresses who won Oscars over the last 90 years.
And the ones breaking barriers in all the other categories, like
yes.
makeup and hair.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Black on the Scene. Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, it's John Giss.
And DeDe Brown.
We hope you enjoyed episode 5 of Black on the Scene, our love letter to Black entertainment.
Please check back each week as we continue releasing new episodes of the show. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave us a rating, and follow us on all social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at BLK on the Scene.